Welcome. I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. I have some exciting news and a big story to share, and I'll be right with you. I'm really glad you're here. So, not long ago, I was in Colorado for my daughter's 24th birthday, May 21st. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be there for 5 days, so I thought. And my oldest son Adam, asked, well, if you were here for Ariel's birthday, for one kid's birthday, can't you stay for your other kid's birthday? And so my 5-day visit ended up being 3 weeks. And so on the 21st day of my trip to Colorado, I drove back to California. I made that trip in record time. It took me 23 hours and 19 minutes. It's 1,177 miles. I could tell you what rest stops there were along the way. I've done it so many times. I wasn't home 10 minutes, didn't have my car unpacked, when I got an email from Boulder Housing Partners. And there had been a lottery for apartments. Apartments in downtown Boulder are, they're in high demand, let's just say, high demand. And I had checked earlier in the year about the lottery, and I was told, the lottery took place in February, you missed it. And so, that my inquiry that went out was me asking the universe, is there a possibility that I could live in Colorado? Is there a possibility that I could find a beautiful place for me? That is what I was doing by sending that inquiry out. 10 minutes after I got home, I heard an email come in, and I knew I needed to check it. And check it I did. The question was, are you still interested in an apartment in Boulder? The answer was absolutely yes. Now, I love the beach. I love California. I had friends there. I had a team trivia that, the Triviados, that we played trivia every Tuesday night. I had so much joy and beauty that surrounded me in Ojai. I loved Ojai. I love California. But to be honest, I love wherever I am. I find beauty wherever I am. And right before that trip, that 3-week trip, I was on the beach, and my guides asked me, what do you love more? Is it the beach or your family? And I said, well, that's a no-brainer. I love my family more. I can always visit the beach, but my family, I love the beach. I love the beach. I love the water. I love the dolphins. I love it all. But I love my family. And I had been told, easily for the last 7 years, Colorado's not my home. Colorado's not my home. I kept hearing that every time I wanted to move to Colorado. It's not your home. It's not your home. It wasn't time. And there is something to the divine timing of things, because if we use our will to make something happen, as opposed to allowing the universe to bring it to us, it comes to us in that way, in a much more magnificent form, way better than we ever imagined. And that's what happened for me. Because I didn't force a move before its time. I waited. I actually was living my life. I thought, well, I guess I'm not supposed to live in Colorado. Well, I did live here in 2011 to 2012 when my ex-husband, Rich, passed away on July the 4th. And Ariel was 16. My daughter was 16 at that time. And it was a really tough time for her, as you can imagine. She loved her dad. and I loved him too. We'd become friends by that time. So I asked her, did she want to get the heck out of Dodge? And she said, absolutely. Everywhere she looked around Boulder reminded her of her father. So we moved to California, and that was 2012. November 1st, we arrived. And so she graduated high school in record time, and I promised to fulfill her dream. She wanted to move back to Boulder as soon as she graduated. So I made that come true. I packed her up, I drove her with her dad's truck to Boulder, Colorado, and I flew back. That was as soon as she graduated, which is, I think it's been 8 years now. So anyway, the opportunity came up for this apartment, grander than my wildest dreams. I was living in a very teeny tiny place that was lovely. It worked for me. I made it work. I had a storage shed. I had a chicken coop that my cats would go in if they needed safety from coyotes and that sort of thing. But the place was very tiny. You know, I had my clothes under the bed in little storage containers. I made it work. I made it wonderful for me, and it worked for 2 full years. However, the guidance I got was that my landlord, who is almost 92, was going to pass. And when that happened, I would have to find a new place to live. Well, the universe took care of that for me in advance because I loved that man, and I didn't want to be there when he passed away. I wanted to leave on a high note, and which I did. So I arrived home June 9th, and here I am before the end of the month. I had packed everything. I had friends come and help take stuff away to thrift stores. I got rid of all my furniture. I gave it away. I let it all go. And when you let go, it's amazing. You surrender to the greater good, and amazing things happen. Before you know it, when I arrived here, the very day I arrived here, I met a woman immediately, and she said, I have a couch, you can have it. I had a young man, a beautiful young man named Matt, who offered to empty my trailer for me. Leaving California, Phil Smith, my dear friend from Trivia, helped me load my trailer. He helped me get my trailer hitch attached to my car. So the things that I want to tell you are, there were people that said, don't leave, you know, your kids are going to move away, you can't tow a trailer with that car. All these people telling me, you cannot do this, you can't do it, you can't move, you can't do this, you know, all these you can'ts. But you know what? Successful people find a way. I found a way. I found many ways, and people stepped up to help me, which was amazing. Great gifts. I'm so grateful. But the universe came through with a beautiful place for me, with a balcony overlooking the mountains of Boulder, Colorado, with ample storage, safe for my animals. The application was, I could only have, 2 animals. I have 4. They said, no problem. I was honest. I didn't lie about anything. But I will tell you this, because I vacillated a little bit about the leaving California, I love Ojai, moving to Boulder, I don't know. When I was doing that, the universe put things on hold, and so my approval for this apartment came through at the 11th hour on the Thursday, which was 2 days after my appointment to get the trailer and the tow hitch installed. So if we waver in what we desire, things will be slower to manifest. As a matter of fact, you might find yourself hosing your manifestation. So I had to forgive myself for any thoughts that I had about letting go of California. I knew it was time to go. You know, it was a beautiful 2 years. I had a fabulous time. Well, I was in California actually from 2000. 2012 to 2020. So what is that? 8 years, full circle. So, but Ojai, the last 2. But amazing, when you say yes, how can I make this happen? How could I find a way to tow the little things that I had? I didn't have furniture. It was just, the sacred objects, my favorite books, and of course my animals came with me in the car. So the thing of it is that when you have a desire of your heart, which is what I had, to be with my children, to be here for my daughter, 24, who lost her dad when she was 16. I knew that she, could use loving support. The COVID thing caused me to rethink being so far away, because previously I thought, oh, no problem, I can always drive, I can always get on an airplane. But this showed me that can change. So do I want to be separated from my family? Should we have another shutdown? Should the state lines be closed? Because that's a possibility, right? And the answer was no. I didn't want to be separated from my family. So go with the joy. What brings you the most joy? Yes, the ocean brings me joy. Yes, the beach brings me joy. But what brings me more joy is my family. Hi, Christina. I am glad. And she says, enjoying this story of encouragement. So what I will tell you is, I had a lot of people tell me I was crazy. You love California, you love Ojai, why would you leave? Well, the signs were there. My landlord had fallen. His wife had had a stroke, and there was a caregiver that took care of his wife, and she went away to Vegas. And I'm just going to mention this. And right before she left, she said, Mark, don't fall. And the unconscious mind doesn't hear the don't. It X's out the don't, and it hears fall. So unbeknownst to this woman, she cursed him with a fall. She put the thought in his unconscious mind to fall. As soon as she left, he fell, hit his head on the pool wall, face down. I was the one that heard him fall. I went racing there. My heart was practically stopped. I couldn't even pick him up. He's face down on the concrete. And so when this happened, my guide said to me, this is the beginning of the end for him. 2 days later, he had another dreadful fall. And so I knew that was confirmation. It was time to go. And so I was open to the possibilities. And see, that's the thing. It isn't a matter of what you can't do. It's a matter of show me how. Show me how. People, I will say, I went to coffee a week ago Sunday at Java and Joe's in Ojai, and the whole group said, oh, you cannot tow anything with your Lexus. There's no way. It's not equipped for tow. It will not be able to tow a trailer. And Phil Smith said to me, nonsense. It's well able to tow a trailer. Another friend also said the same thing. And what I will tell you is, where someone told me my car was overheating, Phil said, it's fine. It's exactly where it's supposed to be when it's running. And I will tell you, Phil was my angel on the earth that helped to oversee this entire move. He was encouraging and kind and compassionate and so giving of his time. And so I hope you all have a friend like Phil. And he's a married man. He has a beautiful wife. I just want to say a shout out to both him and Delia, because, if it weren't for Delia saying, here, absolutely, have my husband for a couple of days, and it's good because I'm having my time while you take Phil to do that move thing. And he worked his butt off. I will tell you, by the end of the time that the trailer was packed, and I was a little concerned about pulling it because it was loaded to the gills. There wasn't an inch of space. When I got to Colorado, nothing shifted. It was so tightly packed like Tetris, no room for movement. And that's a metaphor, because I set my sights on being here for my family. It wasn't for me. I know that my business is going to expand here. Here's the other thing, is that it's just a knowing that I have. You know, the last day before I left here to go back to California, I got a new client here in Boulder. And so we can't give up hope. We always have to look on the bright side. We always have to be asking, how can I? Instead of, I can't. How can I? Show me how. How can I easily and effortlessly do and fill in the blank? I will tell you, I am a powerful manifester. It's what I teach. It is how I live my life. But there is such a thing as quantum manifesting. And I will say, this one came through very quickly. I'm living now in a beautiful place. I have an elevator. My animals are welcome and safe. I have a balcony overlooking the mountains. I have underground parking so that in the winter I won't have to shovel snow off my vehicle. I can go on and on. I'm in the center of the city where I can walk to the store, I can walk to coffee, I can walk to a dog park. There's so much here around me, way better than if I'd picked it myself. It wouldn't be this great. That's the thing, when the universe orchestrates our lives for us, it's amazing that what can happen. All right, so let me just see, there's, success. Successful people are always looking how to make the opportunity out of a negative situation. I could have been in Ojai going, oh, woe is me, my landlord's going to die, what am I going to do? That wasn't what I did. And I will tell you, I love this man. I cried when I said goodbye to him. It was a beautiful experience there in Ojai. I'm so grateful for it from beginning to end. And I went to Ojai, like so many people do, to heal. I healed narcissistic abuse from my mother, a lifetime that I had struggled with. And so I come here at a higher vibration, to a place of higher vibration, to do greater and greater work out in the world. So I hope that this has been inspirational for you. I will tell you, I got a text from a friend yesterday. She said to me, you know, Jennifer, life is so fragile. You know, we never know what is going to happen, or what could befall us. We never know. And she said I was an inspiration to her. So be the inspiration to those around you. Instead of thinking that things are bleak, ask, what's the opportunity in this for me? How can I come out of this situation to help more and more people? How could I expand my energy to help a larger group of people? How could I be of greater good and service to the world? How could I bring more joy and love and inspiration to others? Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, I would be glad to do so in my next live. I will be doing them every day. Now that I have a place, I'm getting settled. I'm nearly out of boxes. Paintings are not hung up yet, but you know, every day we do a little bit more, and so I'd love to answer your questions. So thank you so much for being here. Yes, I am here in Boulder, Colorado, and all of my children live in this state. I have a son I met for coffee yesterday morning before he went to work. So he's just a couple of miles away. My daughter's an hour away, and my son and his wife are about an hour away. So instead of 1,177 miles, it is, 36 miles at the most, 50 miles, big deal. So I love you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters, sending you a big hug from Boulder, Colorado today.